Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, 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 Call Halal Yahweh, Bahashim Yahweh Shai, Bahashim Rakah Kodash. Double honors unto my apostles and elders of Great Millstone who have taught me this truth, peace, love, and salutation unto the hopeful elect, kings and priests who are out there bringing out this word in all sincerity and in all truth. Likewise, shalom to the sisters and little ones who is also of the hopeful elect. Brother Amawan from the Great Millstone Branch, Los Angeles, Southern California, back here with another lesson this afternoon. It's Saturday, 12 p.m. Today's date is, let's get that right, the 27th, Saturday, April 27th, another day closer to Esau's downfall and the uprising of our kingdom. I have a lesson here. Lord willing, this is an edifying show. I'm going to try to get through this as quick as I can. This is why everyone needs to prepare for the day when devastating cyber attacks take U.S. power grids down. Now, as it is written in 2nd Esdras, the 16th chapter, or the 15th chapter, somewhere in Esdras, that the Lord will send plagues upon Egypt as were before. We know how the Lord sent, I believe it was 10 plagues upon Egypt. And one of those plagues was darkness. The Lord caused darkness to where it can be felt. All right. But you had light in the camp of Israel. All right. But in the land of Martazarium, which is in the land of Egypt, it was just nothing but complete darkness. And America, Babylon the Great, is going to receive the same plagues as Egypt before, because we are in the modern day Egypt, which is spiritually Sodom and spiritually Egypt, all right, because they hold those same practices, therefore they're going to get the same judgments, but worse. So, Lord willing, this is an edifying lesson. This man's power grid, that's connected from all sides of the states around, from Alaska to Europe to, all right, all around. The power grid is very vulnerable. And if the power grid goes down, that's it. Everything plunges literally into darkness, and all the enemies of America, they have infiltrated inside of the power grid. So, hey, man, that once the light switches go out, it's all about believing in Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai, because this man's judgment is right around the corner. All right, these plagues are about to hit, Soon there will be a time where shit would just go completely out. It's going to be a lot of people dying from this. You got all these warnings from top DHS officials about a terrorist attack, a cyber attack, cyber warfare, all this stuff going on. So let's get into it. What will you do if the power grid where you live went down and there was no electricity for an extended period of time? You might want to think about that, because experts are warning that it is just a matter of time before cyber attacks successfully cripple our power grids. In fact, foreign hackers are working hard to infiltrate critical infrastructure as you read this article. As you will see below, we are extremely vulnerable, and the Russians and the Chinese have both developed highly advanced cyber warfare capabilities. When the U.S. ends up fighting a war with Russia or China, or both simultaneously, devastating cyber attacks on our power grids will be conducted. When your community is suddenly plunged into darkness, what is your plan? Right? And that's a cyber war is happening. That's why you got China flying spy balloons over America. All right, you got these so-called criminals, the enemies of America. They said that that ship that crashed into that port, that ship that knocked down that bridge, they said they're saying that was hacked, by enemy. All right, which that's a hit on America's infrastructure. So there's enemies right now as we speak. All right, the enemies of America that are infiltrating this place. All right, you got to have a cyber ransom. Or we gonna need about 100,000 if you want to get your account back setting right. That's happening. I believe Wells Fargo, they went through that. Okay, they got some of their assets stolen from them, right? The United States and Canada are not covered by a single power grid. Rather, there are multiple grids that collectively provide the electricity that all of us need. The following explanation comes from Wikipedia. The electrical power grid that powers North America is not a single grid, but instead divided into multiple wide area synchronous grids. Slakia for the mispronunciation. The eastern interconnection and the western interconnection are the largest. Three other regions include Texas interconnection and the Cubic interconnection and the Alaska interconnection. Each region delivers power at a normal 60 HC frequencies. The regions are not usually directly connected or synchronized to each other, but there exist some HVDCs and connectors. Yada, yada, yada. So basically, America itself is not running on its own power grid. They're getting power from over here. They're getting power from over there. Texas got their own power, you know. So America's very vulnerable, man. Bloomberg is reporting that the U.S. power grids are facing heightened risks of cyber and physical attacks as the election nears. And one expert is warning that there is a 100% chance that critical infrastructure will eventually be breached at some point. It's a 100% chance that the lights is going to go out, basically. That the infrastructure will be breached. They won't have no control over it. And your lights will be out and controlled by another foreign enemy. It could be Russia. It could be China. All right. Soon as these things take off, man. It says, I think there's a 100% chance that organizations in the critical infrastructure space at some point will experience some sort of breach, said Stephanie Bennett-Kurtz, lead cybersecurity faculty at the College of Business and Information Technology at the University of Phoenix, which Arizona is a very telecommunicative state, man. I used to date an ex out there. She worked in the telecommunication world. That whole state out there is like a damn smart city, man. All right. It says no longer are the days when organizations can say we will never be breached. If not, it's when. Sadly, I believe she is quite correct. We should never have exposed our power grids to the internet, and now we're incredibly vulnerable. But that was to happen for our sake, for the elect waking up, for this word to go out, and for Esau to go down. You had that one guy come out and say we should have never invented the internet. We're losing the information war. All right, because they're trying to silence everything. The FBI want YouTube accounts, IP address, current addresses. They're trying to stop this truth from going out, but you can't. No matter if you shut the grid down, the truth is already out. The scriptures say, once this gospel shall be preached, then shall the income. Let's get that. Income. It's in Matthew 24:14, and the gospel of the kingdom shall be preached in all the world for a witness unto all nations, and then shall the end come. Because we're prophesying the downfall of America, Babylon the Great, that there will be a darkness come one day, that there will be pestilence come one day, that there will be a famine come one day, because that's what the prophets did. They prophesied against many great countries and kingdoms of famine and pestilences of war. It says, during a recent congressional hearing, FBI Director Christopher Wray publicly admitted that Chinese hackers have been targeting our power grid. FBI Director Christopher Wray said Wednesday that China hackers are targeting American critical infrastructure, including water treatment plants, pipelines, and the power grid, to be able to wreak havoc in the U.S. if Beijing ever decides to do so. So they could just cause America to just turn up if they want to, just shut all the lights down, because they got so much control. And they got so much in America. America's a big corporation that's not owned by these elites anymore. They've been done away with this place. That's why China got police stations in New York, and they got all types of businesses and just booming for China. They're winning a silent black market economic war. They're winning everything, man. The AI show. They're the leaders of that whole shit, man. You look over in China, like Carl Schwab said, China is a great mirror of what we want over here in America. They want a social credit system. All right, they want climate lockdowns come summer. Okay, they want all this, you know. So all they need is the right crisis, and the people will accept their NWO. All right, it says testifying before the House Select Committee on the Chinese Communist Party, Wray also warned that there has been too little public attention on the threat that he says China efforts pose to national security. China hackers are positioning on American infrastructure in preparation to wreak havoc and cause real-world harm to American citizens and communities if and when China decides the time has come to strike. This is a very real threat. All the nations that were at peace with thee have brought thee even to the border. All right, the men of thy confederacy. All right, the Lord has changed the heart on these nations towards America. This is Obadiah 1:1, which I read this in my last lesson going into Esau. This is vision of Obadiah. Thus says the Lord power concerning Edom. We have heard a rumor from the Lord, and an ambassador is sent among the heathen. Arise ye, and let us rise up against her in battle. Who is the her? Babylon the Great. All these nations, the enemies and the allies, are silently creeping up on this place, removing themselves from the dollar. Okay? Verse 2, behold, I have made thee small among the heathen, thou art greatly despised. America is greatly despised. Okay, they're despising your acts over there in the Middle East towards the Palestinians in the Holy Land. All right? You just killing more people than Hitler. You small hats, man. And all the nations are fed up with that. You got protesters at universities, students getting locked up. All right, the whole world is going crazy, man. Yet you got a looming cyber security threat of a whole EMP lock, just everything just turning completely darkness while everything else is going on. All right, the moment that China invades Taiwan, the U.S. and China will be at war. And they just passed that 95 bill. All right, some money went to Ukraine, some went to Israel, and some went to Taiwan. Why do you think that's happening? It's funding America's war, man. You know, it says in the office of the director of the national intelligence has warned that Beijing feared that if Beijing feared that a major conflict with the United States were imminent, it almost certainly would consider undertaking aggressive cyber operations against U.S. homeland critical infrastructure and military assets worldwide. So they got a real clinch on America, man. They can just shut down all their real delicate softwares, man, because they have hacked it. All right, then the FBI is openly saying it on the news that this is a real threat. This can happen. Prepare your household and all this stuff. Only you Americans, the only thing you're doing right now, you just gotta prepare for what's to come, cause you don't have no underground bunkers. You don't have no safe city, no retreat. You Israelites, man, this is the time of Jacob's trouble that's coming. You know, and 2/3 is going to get caught up in this, man. We remember the time of Egypt, when the Lord sent darkness, when we read about it, the plagues, all right? The Lord blooded the rivers, man. He killed all their firstborn, you know? The Lord is not playing, man. It says most Americans don't realize that the groundwork for such cyber operation is already being laid. For example, last August, Chinese hackers suspiciously targeted the Texas power grid. The reports says that in August, hackers attempted to access the computer system used by the Public Utility Commission of Texas, or the PUC, and the Electric Reliability Council of Texas, or the ERCOT, which operate the state's power grid. Most of Texas is on its own power grid, separate from the grids used by most of the country. If you think that our system are secure, you are just being delusional. Remember Texas power grid went out in that winter, right? They couldn't heat up their houses. They were through, man, because they run off their own grid. And that's how you know this place is divided. They all got my own grid over here. You can't use energy over here. So this whole place is divided, and a kingdom that's divided against itself shall fall. This place, see, in our kingdom, even in a time in Israel, man, when we were ruling, it wasn't no shit going on like this. We were all in sync in one. There wasn't no divided there wasn't no division amongst us, okay? Except when the split came, then, you know, it all went bad. But still, we had some type of structure. It says, U.S. power grids, it says the truth is that we are extremely vulnerable, and the North American Electric Reliability Corporation admits that the number of weak spots is growing with each passing day. You know, so each passing day, they getting tapped in their software. This place got hacked. This place got hacked. This system went down for some hours. This bank is closed. Banking apps is down. People can't access some of their funds because they're being hacked. Assets are being taken and stolen. You know, black women screaming, why my money is gone? They can't find my money. They're using your money for that war. You jakes got your monies in these savings account and all this. That's all. It's just going to be gone with the flick of a switch, because that's all it is. It's just numbers. It's a credit-based system. Your belief in this system, okay, is what gives the system the credit, the credibility, okay? But all that credit is not, it's fake. It's fraudulent. It's not hard assets. It's not a real commodity at the end of the day. Esau has made you gathering assets of no really structured value, man. Paper notes. Okay, let me pause this real quick and come. Matter of fact, let me keep going. Gotta check on my stuff. It says, but foreign entities wouldn't even need to gain access through a weak spot if there are already backdoors in place. According to one analyst, about 90% of software used to manage the U.S. power grid is linked to Russian and Chinese developers. That right there should just tell you who's in control of the power grid. All right, you brothers, I'll post a link in the description box. So they got control of the oil rig. They got control of the electrical grid. They got control over every fucking thing, man. And all it takes is just for these Americans just to fuck up. And they have been fucking up. How in the world did we allow this to happen? Are we really that incompetent? I was floored when I first read that. I had no idea that we were so vulnerable. Of course, it isn't just our power infrastructure that is being targeted. According to Politico, Europe has been inundated with cyber attacks since Russia invaded Ukraine. All right. It says thousands of cyber attacks have inundated Europe's energy grid since Russia invasion in Ukraine. And a top industry leader is calling for help as officials and researchers fret that not nearly enough is being done. The crooks are becoming better by the day, so we need to become better by the day. I am jumping down. I'm worried now, and I will be even more worried in the future. We have never seen this sort of warfare before, so most people greatly underestimate the threat. But someday the power in your area could suddenly go out without any warning whatsoever. Temporary interruptions are not a problem, but if the power is out for an extended period of time, our entire way of life will start rapidly shutting down. When power stops, life grinds to a halt. Lights go out, sewage treatment stops, clean water stops, electric cars, buses, trolley stop, elevator stops, trapping older and disabled people. For many, home heating, refrigeration, cooking, clothes, washing stops, along with medical devices such as oxygen generators. For many years, I've been warning my readers that conflict with Russia and the conflict with China will be coming. Now, both of them are actively hacking into our power infrastructure in the United States and Europe. I hope you have a plan, because it is just a matter of time before cyber attacks start causing widespread chaos all over the globe. And that's all you need. That's another way of putting this place in a darkness that will be felt. You know, let me pause this, come right back. Got to grab my clothes. Shalom.